All right, let's do it. Back for another deep dive, and this time we're tackling the Yellowstone Season 5 Part 2 trailer. This thing dropped, and, well, let's just say it's got folks talking.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Yellowstone, it's huge. And this trailer, it's just adding fuel to the fire.
Right. So we're going to be using that Taste of Country YouTube breakdown as our guide here. They really get into the nitty-gritty, which I love.
They do. They always seem to find those little hints that most people wouldn't even notice.
Exactly. And right away, they point out this big fight scene, a train station, of all places. The question is, who's this mystery brawler?
It's a great hook to get you watching, right? But the video, it makes a good point, I think, about misdirection. Like, they want us focused on this fight while something else, the real drama, is happening somewhere else completely.
Okay, yeah, I see what you mean. So let's put on our detective hats and see what other clues we can dig up. One thing that really pops out is just how much trouble Jamie seems to be in.
Yeah, you're right. We see him getting escorted out of his office, then he's shredding documents like crazy and just looking totally defeated. Not the powerful Jamie we're used to seeing.
So what's going on with Jamie then? The Taste of Country analysis. They think he's totally alone now. No allies, nobody on his side.
It's like all that backstabbing and scheming, it finally caught up with him, pushed everyone away who could have helped him.
The video even wonders if, remember that baby from Season 4? If that might somehow play into Jamie's downfall.
Oh, wow, yeah. That would be a crazy twist. Like adding another layer to Jamie's already messed up situation.
It would. Now, another thing the trailer hints at, and this is a big one, is the ending of that epic Beth versus Jamie feud.
I mean, that rivalry's been the core of the show for so long. Hard to imagine Yellowstone without it.
Yeah, I know. But the video, they're thinking their fight might actually be resolved pretty fast. Like, it might not even be the main focus this season.
Wow, that's a bold prediction. But there is that shot of a burning car. And the video asks, could Jamie be inside?
Oh, that would be dramatic. A fiery ending to their whole bitter rivalry.
It would definitely make a statement. But the video also talks about another storyline that they think might actually be even more important this season. Chief Rainwater's story.
Okay, so what makes them think Rainwater's story is so crucial?
Well, they point out some symbolic stuff, like a pendant. It represents unity, but also maybe a threat to Indigenous women. And there's this feeling that someone's pushed Rainwater too far, like he's about to snap.
Interesting. So lots of tension brewing in Rainwater's community. But who's pushing him? What's going to happen?
Right, that's the big question. They talk about the visuals in the trailer, all these images of a knife, and that line, "We were brothers."
Oh, yeah, that definitely suggests a personal conflict. Maybe even violence, like a betrayal from someone close.
Exactly. And the video thinks Casey might be right in the middle of it all. We see him with a knife looking pretty vengeful.
So is Casey going to be the one seeking justice for Rainwater? Or maybe for someone close to him?
It's possible. Remember, Casey's always caught between his family and his wife's people. This could force him to make some really hard choices.
Now, this is the big one, the one everyone's talking about. What about John Dutton? He's in the trailer a lot, but something's off.
Right. The video points out nobody seems to be grieving him, even though he's supposedly dead. No tears, no sad moments, just like business as usual.
Okay, yeah, that's weird. It's like everyone's acting like nothing happened. Could it be? Was his death faked?
The video even throws out this idea maybe it was a publicity stunt to get people hyped for the new season.
You're kidding. If they did that, that's wild. Messing with the audience like that, that's bold.
Well, Yellowstone does love its shock value, so I wouldn't put it past them. But it definitely leaves us hanging, right? Is he gone, or is he going to come back in some dramatic way?
And then there's that line, the only thing left to do is to kill as much as you can before they kill you.
Chills, right.
Yeah.
That makes you think maybe John Dutton is back, and he's out for revenge.
Yeah, and ready to do whatever it takes to protect his land, his family. Okay, so we've got Jamie, potentially alone and desperate, a situation with Chief Rainwater that could explode, and the whole mystery of John Dutton's fate. What else did the Taste of Country video pick up on?
Well, they mentioned that a few characters like Tate, Ryan, Walker, and Colby, they don't get much screen time.
That's interesting. Part of the bunkhouse crew is supposed to be in Texas, right?
Hey.
Maybe their storylines are being kept secret for a reason?
Maybe. Could be a surprise attack or something. Or maybe they just have smaller roles this time around.
Oh, a surprise attack would be a cool twist. But speaking of twists, the video also talks about what they call the wildest clip in the trailer.
Oh yeah, the destroy yourself scene. That one's intense. And the video reminds us, the last time we saw serious gunfire at the ranch, it was under attack. End of season 3.
You're right. So, could that be happening again? Another violent showdown at the ranch?
It's possible. The trailer definitely feels like it's setting up a big confrontation. But the question is, who's behind it this time? And what will it mean for the Duttons?
So many questions. But one thing's for sure, this season's going to be just as explosive and dramatic as we expect from Yellowstone.
Totally agree. The Taste of Country analysis, it really gets you thinking.
I know. But even after all that, we still have that big question from the beginning. Who is that mystery fighter at the train station?
It's the ultimate cliffhanger. They think it might be misdirection, but it's working. It's got us all wondering.
Me too. So what do you think? Will John Dutton come back? Will Jamie's schemes finally backfire? Or is there a twist we haven't even thought of? What do you think is the most likely scenario?
Well, it's tough to say, but I think this season it's all about control. Control of the land, the family, even like who gets to tell the story. And I wouldn't be surprised if we see some weird team-ups as things change.
Oh, interesting. Yeah, the trailer definitely plays up that whole power struggle thing. Speaking of the Taste of Entry video, they pointed out something about that pendant Chief Rainwater's wearing.
Oh, right. They said it could be about unity and strength, but also like a threat to Indigenous women.
Yeah, that's a really good point.
Yeah.
Makes you wonder if this season's going to get more into those social and political issues that affect Rainwater and his people.
Could be. And if they do, it would add a whole other dimension to the show, make it even more relevant.
Absolutely. Now, that destroy yourself scene the video talked about,
Yeah.
It's definitely one of the most intense moments. And they mentioned the last time we saw that much gunfire at the ranch, it was under attack, right? Back in the season 3 finale.
Exactly. So it makes you think, are the Duttons going to get attacked again? And if so, who's behind it this time?
Well, they didn't really say who they thought it might be. But they did remind us that the Duttons, they've made a lot of enemies over the years.
Oh, yeah, for sure. You've got market equities, the Beck brothers, even some of their own family have turned against them.
So it could be anyone. But here's what I'm wondering. What about those characters we don't see much of? The ones who are supposed to be down in Texas?
That's a good question. The video said it might be misdirection to keep us guessing. Or maybe their roles are just smaller this season.
Yeah, maybe they'll show up at just the right time to help the Duttons. Or maybe they're part of the attack.
Or what if they're on some secret mission we don't know about? A mission that'll connect to the main story later. So many possibilities.
This is what I love about Yellowstone. It's full of surprises. Keeps you on the edge of your feet.
I agree. They know how to build suspense, that's for sure. Now, about John Dutton. You really think he could be alive?
Part of me wants to believe it. It would be such a classic Yellowstone move. But then again, him dying would change everything. It would really raise the stakes for the other characters.
True. His death would leave a void. Everyone would be fighting to fill it. But it'd be interesting to see how they deal with it emotionally, Like, how would Beth and Case and the others cope with losing him?
All good points. Tough to say. But whether he's alive or dead, his presence is going to be felt all season, that's for sure.
Absolutely. And that's what makes this trailer so good. It gets you asking all these questions, leaves you wanting more.
Okay, so we've talked about the main storylines, the threats, the whole John Dutton thing. What about those smaller details the Taste of Country video pointed out? Anything interesting there?
Like what? Tell me.
Well, they mentioned Carter shows up in the trailer. And there's that scene where Rip, he looks like he's going through something emotionally.
Oh, yeah, I remember that. He's just sitting there all alone, looking really troubled. What's going on with him?
Maybe he's dealing with John Dutton being gone, or maybe it's something personal, something we haven't seen yet.
Hard to tell, but it definitely adds another layer to the story. And it shows that even the side characters in Yellowstone, they have their own stuff going on.
Exactly. Now, before we wrap up this analysis, there's one more thing I wanted to mention.
Okay, what is it?
The video said they filmed the last part of season 5 in a different location. Usually they film in Montana, but this time they were in Texas.
Oh, yeah, that's right. I read about that. I wonder how that'll affect the show.
Me too. Will it just be a different look, or will it actually change the story, the characters?
I guess we'll have to wait and see. It's another reason to be excited for the new season.
Definitely. This trailer has given us a lot to think about, and I'm even more hyped for the new episodes now.
Me too. Taste of Country, they really nailed it with their analysis. They picked up on all the important stuff and got us thinking about what might happen.
Okay, so before we move on, I want to hear your final predictions. What's going to be the most shocking twist in season 5, part 2?
That's a tough one. But if I had to guess, I'd say it'll involve a betrayal. Like one that nobody sees coming.
Ooh, I like that. Yellowstone is all about those unexpected alliances and backstabbing moments.
Exactly. And I think the trailer, it hints at some big betrayals coming up, both within the Dutton family and with their enemies.
All right, so a betrayal might be on the horizon. What else do you think could happen?
Well, I also think there's a good chance a major character might die.
Oh, no. Who do you think it'll be?
I don't know, but I have a feeling it'll be someone we least expect. Someone whose death would really shake things up.
That's a scary thought. Yellowstone's not afraid to kill off important characters, so you might be right.
And lastly, I think we might finally get some answers about the Duttons' past.
That'll be awesome. We've gotten hints about their history, but we still don't know much about their ancestors or how they ended up owning Yellowstone Ranch.
Right. And learning about their past could explain some of the conflicts happening now. It could help us understand the Duttons even better.
Okay, so we've got a possible betrayal, maybe a major character death, and maybe even some insight into the Duttons' history. Those are some bold predictions.
Yeah, all right. Yeah. But I think this season's going to be full of surprises.
I agree. I can't wait to see how it all plays out. Now, let's turn it over to you, the listener. So we've talked about a lot today. Jamie, John Dutton, all that. But what about you? What do you think? What's going to be that, jaw-dropping twist in season 5, part 2?
Yeah, that's the big question, right? I mean, the trailer definitely gave us plenty to think about.
It did. But even with all those clues and theories, Yellowstone always finds a way to surprise us.
Oh, for sure. Remember when we all thought Beth was a goner after that bombing? Or when Jamie found out about his real dad?
Oh, man, yeah. Crazy stuff. So what's going to top that this season? What's your big prediction? What do you think is going to completely blow everyone's minds?
Okay. If I had to bet, I'd say the biggest shocker. It'll be a power shift in the family. We've already seen hints of it. Beth and Jamie, they're both fighting for control. And Casey, he's caught in the middle.
Interesting. So you think the ranch itself might end up belonging to someone else?
It's possible, right? And if that happens, it changes everything. The whole show could go in a totally different direction.
Wow, I hadn't even thought of that. But it makes sense, It feels like the show's been building up to some kind of huge change. And, well, someone else taking over the ranch, that would definitely be huge.
Yeah, it would. And think about it. Everyone would have to figure out where they stand. Who are they loyal to? What matters most to them?
That's a great point. It would create all these new conflicts, new problems.
Exactly. And it'd be so interesting to see how each character would handle such a big change.
Okay, so we've got that potential power shift, a possible betrayal, maybe even a big character death, and maybe some answers about the Duttons' past. This season's going to be wild.
It is. And I think, the biggest takeaway from all this is that Yellowstone, it's not just a show. It's like a mirror to our own world. All the family drama, the power struggles, the questions about loyalty, betrayal, what we leave behind.
Yeah, that's so true. It makes you think, and you keep thinking about it even after you finish watching.
And it really rewards you for paying attention. The writers are always dropping these hints, these little clues, so it's fun to go back and rewatch episodes and see how everything connects.
Oh, absolutely. I'm already thinking about rewatching the whole thing before the new season starts.
Great idea. You always catch something new the second time around.
Well, that's about it for our deep dive into the Yellowstone Season 5 Part 2 trailer.
Yeah, it's been great breaking down all those clues and theories with you.
Same here. And big thanks to Taste of Country for their awesome breakdown of the trailer. Definitely check out their YouTube channel if you want more Yellowstone insights.
For sure. They're the best resource for any fan of the show.
And to all of you listening, thanks for joining us on this deep dive. We hope you enjoyed it.
And don't forget to leave a comment and tell us what you think. What are your predictions for Season 5, Part 2? What's going to happen? We want to hear your theories.
That's it for us. Until next time, keep exploring, keep learning, and keep diving deep.